Welcome to the Derwin Smiley Show. I'm your host, Derwin Smiley. On today's show, I will have a conversation with Longino. I am glad you're with me, and that show starts right now. Longino is the host of Issues of Today, local radio show. Mr. Longino, welcome to the show.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Can you tell me who is Longino?
Well, born in Atlanta, Georgia, and spent about 10 years there. Then we moved here. Went to graduated from Lawrence Central High School in '97, and pretty much after that, didn't immediately want to go to college. I wanted to be in entertainment. So what I did was I started out in hip hop at 14, basketball, did a little bit of modeling, slight part of acting, and none of that stuff really panned out. So the talk show really was the next thing for me, and I saw it as a place where I can stay. And also get back and change some things and give my point of view on certain critical issues that we deal with every day.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit? You said you dabbled into a lot of different things. I think you said basketball, acting, then the radio show. How did you persevere through all those ups and downs?
Man, my biggest fear is failure. I can't. When we ride down the highways, you seen them. People holding signs up, homeless people begging for money, or then you got kids out here who need better living habits. I have 2 kids, and I promised my daughter and my son a house, the backyard, the good, stable life. And I'm not going to allow myself to come up short in that, because I want them to get a whole new calendar that makes me get out here and work hard every day. My biggest fear is failure. That's what keeps me going.
Let's talk a little bit. You said you had two small kids.
How is fatherhood to you?
It's a challenge, man. It's a challenge. It brings out the real you. It really brings out who you are as a man, or if your mother. I tell people this all the time. You never know who you're truly dealing with until you have kids by them, because that responsibility you can't run from. You may run from it in the earlier stages, but somewhere along in your life it's going to catch up with you. So it's a challenge. It's fun. I love kids, so it's fun, but it's a big challenge.
How did you come? You see a lot of young brothers nowadays. You say absolute fathers. How did you come to just like you beyond your years to say that I'm a young African American male, and fatherhood is like one of the major things to me pertaining to my kids?
I have good parents. Actually, let me change that. I have great parents. My mother and my father have been together for over 25 years. So that alone shows me what your responsibilities are. My dad comes home every night. You never got to worry about where he's at, where he's been, where he's going. He goes to work, he comes home. And he deals with the family, deals with everything. We're a family. So that right there showed me. And I was raised good. So, it just transferred on.
So you said you started pursuing a career, I think you said, in hip hop when you was 14. What made you get into it so young?
Love music. I especially love rap. When I came into rap, it was NWA, Spice One, all the stuff my mama was letting me listen to. We found a way to listen to it anyway, So I'll be back of the class writing out songs and stuff. And when I graduated, I ran into a guy by the name of Tony Harvey when I was working at Lowe's. And he put me on. We went to the studio immediately, started working. I didn't know nothing about recording, so I was finding nothing about business. I just knew I wanted to rap. So I loved it, and I still do. I hated that, it didn't work out, but, everything happens for a reason.
What would you say to the young youth who are aspiring to go into the music industry?
Have a plan B. Have a definite plan B. The rap game is just like basketball and anything else. You're not guaranteed. Everybody can't play ball. Everybody can't play football. Everybody can't rap. Everybody can't sing. So for those who don't make it, you got to have a backup. Whether it's school, whether it's owning your own business, whether it's working a career, something. You got to have a backup. I didn't realize you had to have that backup till all I knew was I'm gonna rap and that's it. But the reality starts sinking in, especially after I had kids. It starts sinking in. It may not work out, so I had to have something else to do to be able to supply, and be able to take care of my family.
So what were some of the major hits you came out with?
major hit I had was "It's a Player's World." That came out, and actually it was aired on 96.3 Kyle Street. Me and him had an online on-air interview, and it was nice, man. I thought that was a takeoff point, but due to lack of funding for advertising promotions,
me actually being the only one out here every day in the mornings, putting up posters on every pole out here and dealing with just the struggles that come with the music business.
it wasn't gonna work. It's not gonna work by doing it by yourself. You have to have a team of supporting cast. If you don't, it's gonna be hard. But It's Players World was like my biggest hit.
Okay, what would you say about, as you said, when you was coming up, working NWA, I listened to NWA, Ice Cube, Yella, Eazy, all of them. Can you talk about how they transitioned from the music back then and the music now today?
Good question.
The music back then, even though it was rough, it was hardcore, as they say. They took their time with that music, man. They actually took time in the production, in the lyrics, in the hooks, in the intros, the outros, everything had a formula.
These cats these days, Superman that, and it takes 5 minutes to write something like that. Probably less than that. There's no creativity. There's no substance in the music. There's no messages. All these messages are fabricated. They're stories. They're not even true.
At least rappers like Common, Kanye West, they actually have something to say. And them the ones you really don't even hear that much because people want to hear all the other stuff. They want to hear the money. They want to hear women. And most people who's buying them records don't have none of that.
Trying to work, people are trying to work to get that status quo, but they don't even have that. So we need to hear the music that actually relates to the average everyday person that's out there actually going to work and doing different things of that nature. So that's the difference between music of yesterday and today.
The early hip-hop artists in the past didn't need that tight beat to rap over. Some of that music was trash, but they had lyrics. And that's what's the difference in yesterday and today.
Do you think you ever try to get back into the rap game or anything?
No, I'm one of those. I'm one of the people that realize it's over. I was
at some kind of hip-hop show one day, and this guy, he got up on stage and actually said he was like 34, 35 years old, and he was still low. I mean, give it up. It's over.
It's time to find something else to do.
So do you ever miss it?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day when I hear a new song, or I'm at the house listening to my music, or I got the windows down in the car listening, I miss it every day. Like crazy, but
I have the talk show to gratify that, so it's all good.
Okay. Here's Mr. Taj. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with me. We will continue our conversation with Mr. Taj. Mr. Taj, as we was going to break, I wanted to talk about what issues you see the youth facing today in our community.
The youth are facing, the first things first, parenting. A lot of parents expect TV to raise their kids, the radio to raise their kids.
Teachers at school to raise their kids, the law enforcement to raise their kids, instead of themselves, having that one-on-one time, actually coming home and asking the kids how was their day.
What's up with how did things go today? What did you learn in school? All the stuff that we learned when we was kids, that's kind of missing today.
Another thing that they're facing is it's not a lot of programs, it's not a lot of things for them to do in their spare time. So that's why they're roaming the streets.
A couple of weeks ago, I was out on 46 in Arlington around 10 o'clock at night, and I saw a kid, he couldn't be no more than probably 8 years old, out walking around, just wandering the streets. I mean, there's just the parenting and the programs for them to do in their spare time. Just stuff, we had the block party when I was young, but they don't have that anymore. They have nothing for the teenagers to honestly do.
And if they do have it, it's not promoted. You don't hear about it. So what do? They go get in the truck. If you ain't got nothing to keep the mind on, what are you going to do? You're going to see what you can get away with. So that's what's going on right now.
How important do you think the piece of communications between the parent and the child is?
Oh man, that does wonders, man. If you do not honestly talk to your kids, you'll never know. You can look at your kid all day long and say, I know what they're thinking. I know what they're doing. But you really don't. I actually had a conversation with my kids. We was on my way to get my car repaired, and we were sitting outside an AutoZone store, and I turned around and just had a conversation with my kids. And I was amazed at the information that they gave back to me. When I asked them questions like this.
What are some of the things that you like that I do? What are some things that you don't like that I do? What would you like to see Daddy do better?
Them kind of questions, you'd be amazed at what they tell you. A lot of parents have an assumption that they think of what their kids think and so forth, and you'll never know. You'd be amazed what your kid tells you once you just sit down and honestly talk to them and get in their minds a little bit.
So, I mean, that's being open. How did you become so open?
I know a lot of parents say, I don't want my kids to know some of the bad habits I did back in the day.
You have to tell them that. You gotta be totally open with your kids. You have to be. You gotta tell them everything from the financial to, I mean, your past life. All that plays a part because they need to know that you came from a background too.
You know, kids have a tendency to think their parents are just great and they do no wrong. You know, so everybody has a past. Everybody has a background. So you have to be open with your kids. I'm open with my kids about everything. And, you know, anything they want to know, I ask them. I mean, if I had a conversation with my son today, I ask him anything you want to talk to me about. Anything you want to ask me. You ask me anything you want. Talk about anything you want. I'll let you know.
Because if they don't get it from you, guess who's next to tell them? The person in that street is going to lead them in the wrong direction. So if they didn't get that truth from you, they will never go to outside sources and seek information.
So how important do you think education is as it pertains to our community?
Education is highly important. I just read a statistic on the internet where Ohio has over 60% of black males not graduating from high school.
So you have over 2 million people in prison. Majority of us, we take up that percentage, you know, that number. So education is, if kids have fathers.
Honestly, if a lot more kids had fathers, you wouldn't have the amount of violence that you have in this world, the violent crime and so forth. If people have somebody to look up to, actually, the males, the boys, if they have somebody to look up to, the world would not be the way it is now. It would probably still have problems, but it wouldn't be of this magnitude.
So what do you think our community needs to do? I know you say come together, let's do a march, let's do a prayer vigil, or what do you think we need to do now, instantly, to help change this whole situation?
It's hard to say. The only reason why I say that is because if I see you do a crime in your neighborhood, I might want to tell the police, but 9 times out of 10, you probably come back for me.
And take my life now, my family has nobody. People want to help, they want to get involved, but they're scared. And they're scared because law enforcement.
They have not such a good relationship with the urban community. So, in the rural areas, so you have that, well, I want to do this, I want to help, I want to go out there and take my neighborhood back, but I don't know what's going to be the end result. Yeah, they can put me in witness protection, but they really going to protect me, or am I going to be left out here to fend for myself? And so it's going to take everybody. It's probably going to take somebody to take one for the team.
Honestly, I mean, because if not, then it will never get started.
You know, I see people doing prayer vigils. I see it on the news all the time, and that's good. We need more. We need more of everything. We need more people being willing to go to the police. We need more people standing up to drug dealers, more people standing up to killers, more people standing up to people who like to commit abuse against young kids. We need a little bit of everything, more of it.
How important do you think, like, after-school programs or, like, this type of programs, like we did when we came out? We used to go to my Carver Community Center. We went there, and the mentor who was there, or whatever, Big Daddy, Myron Ellison, and it was like everybody gravitated to that one spot, and they knew that they had a safe environment, and they could get some positive wisdom from the elders at the Carver Community Center. How important do you think that should play in the upbringing of our